If for some reason you're not able to get all this, or you miss something, then I will post what I teach on a given day on my YouTube page, and I will post that link on Twitter. My Twitter is at Coach PT91. You're welcome to get out your device and add it now, or you can write it down now and add it later. If your parents are on the Facebook Red Hawk parent page, I will also post the link there every day. So depending upon when my life slows down tonight, I'll upload it to YouTube and get that posted. So if you're missing, it's understandable. I'm not taking rolling here. It's understandable though. Things happen. You have testimony. I get all that. Okay? So anyway, that's my Twitter. Everybody got it? All right. So here's our motivation today, or here's our goals today. All right, we're going to talk about planning. Preparing and practicing for the ACT. Now, they all could be interchangeable and everything like that. At different points in time, you're going to need to do some planning for a specific test. Others, you're going to need to do actually specific preparation. This right here, that right there, is, to me, in my opinion, the key. Now, I'm going to share some stuff with you that's already been shared with you in ACT 21. I'm going to share some stuff with you that hasn't been shared with you in other classes. Okay, again, this was developed based on my personal experience and what I needed to do to help my son and my nephew, and now my daughter and my other nephew. Okay, so 3 P's. We're going to plan, we're going to prepare, we're going to practice. All right, so let's talk about planning. Over the next, we'll start tomorrow. I'm going to talk about planning how to take the reading test and the science test. Okay, tomorrow is going to be reading and science. Next week, I'm going to shoot to go 3 days. Okay, one of the days is going, and I'll have a schedule for you tomorrow during lunch. I'm going to take a look at the school master calendars when this is being used. I've got enough people. When do y'all grab that and turn that off? There's nothing needed for me. I think everybody in here is pretty in tune and wants to learn. So anyway, the first session next week is planning on how to prepare and practice for the English test. And then the second one next week is going to be planning and preparing, practicing for the math test. Again, to me, the key thing is not only having a plan, but practicing from now through March 21st. Okay? And then after that, what I'll do is I'll probably take 6 days, maybe 7, depending upon what it is, and we're going to give a lot of time to the math portion. I'm a math teacher, and a lot of times students struggle with how do I approach this, how do I approach that. I'll give you, for instance, last spring I took the test, sat across from Drew on it. I made a 35 on the math without a calculator. Okay, but I should. I'm a math teacher. Okay, I missed one question because I had a negative in the wrong spot. Stupid mistake. We've all been there before. Okay, the funny thing was I was teaching that lesson the next day in my class. But anyway, so I say all that to say this. You don't have to be the best math student in the world to do a good job on the math, as long as you approach them a certain way. And one of my goals is to teach you, when we concentrate on math, how to set the calculator off to the side and use this right here as opposed to a calculator. Okay? And you'll actually buy yourself more time. One of my goals with the reading is to help those people that are not great readers, or those that are great readers that are slow readers. Okay? I'm a very, very good reader. I'm a very, very slow reader. And so when I took the reading portion in 19 whatever, so when I took it, I scored fine, but it didn't actually show my ability as a reader. It was because 5 minutes left, I've got 11 questions left, I had the oh crap moment. It's like, ah! So one of my goals with the reading is to teach you and train you how to manage your time. Okay? And understand that when you're reading, you only really have to read about 40% of the test. Now, if I could convince you of that, how many of y'all think you'd do better if you only had to read 40% of what part of the read? Why? It buys you more time. Hey, the same thing's true for science. Same thing's true for science. And then we're going to attack the English as well. So let's talk about this. Planning. Okay, the 4 parts. We have to have a plan on how we approach the English. We have to have a plan on how we approach the math, on how we approach the reading, on how we approach the science. Who has taken the ACT? Not the practice, the ACT before. Raise your hand. Okay, so I'm looking at about 25% of you. Okay, for those of you who have an established score, I will teach you a little bit different than I do everybody else. Because you have a score, and taking the practice is good, but it's not the same thing as actually sitting in the room, right? Okay? It's very, very different. The room is this antiseptic, don't breathe out of place. It's just different when the chips are down. Okay? So I'm going to teach y'all a little bit different than I will the people that have never taken it. Those of y'all that have never taken it, listen to the lessons of those who have. Okay? They can save you some frustration, some time and effort. Now, the great thing for those of you who have not, you're in a comfortable, normal environment. You're in your school. Okay? When I had Drew take it the first time, I sent him to Shelbyville. Okay? We live out that way, and so it's only about a 20-minute drive to Shelbyville. Another thing was, he's so social, I knew he's going to go to Smyrna or Blackman. Hey, what up? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm like, dropped him off at Shelbyville, take your test. Okay? So, and that was his sophomore year. And he seemed to like taking it like that. Okay? So, anyway, but those of y'all who have taken it before, we'll talk about planning a little bit differently per test. Okay? So, we'll break it down, we'll plan on each test, and give you those notes. Then we're going to talk about preparation. Now, I've got a room full of people smarter than me in here. And I do mean that. There's a room full of people smarter than me in here. I never did this in preparation for my ACT. We didn't think it was that important. I took the ACT once. Okay? You're doing things the right way. Get your hands on the test. Let's take it. Let's make plans to better and better and better and better and better. Put myself in a place where school is as cheap as possible, or it can open as many doors for you as possible. That's what this is all about. Okay? So kudos to you. You're way ahead of the game already there. Okay? As far as preparing for specific material, if I'm talking about things and you're not understanding it, all right, I need you to see me. I need you to drop me a note on Twitter, DM me, do something. Let me know, and I'll try to get other things in your hand, okay, to help you understand something better, especially when we get to the math, okay, because a lot of you have not taken it. There's going to be math concepts here that are, they're new for some people. Trigonometry stuff. You may not have been exposed to it yet. Now, most of you have had or are in geometry, correct? Okay, that's why they give the test your junior year. Okay, outstanding. All right, but still, there's maybe some things that maybe slip through the gaps. It's your job to make sure I know, hey, Coach, I'm not really grasping that. Can you get me some more material on that? Give me some exposure to it. Hey, maybe, guys, what I can do, that red table and lunch, come see me. Man, we'll grind on it, okay? My goal for this room is $7 million. That's my goal for this room. I want the people in this room to get $7 million in scholarships over the next year and a half, and it starts with this test, okay? So, big stuff to me. Now, prepare, I'll help you with it. Now, let's talk about practice. This is what you need to set aside. 15 minutes. Per day, 5 days per week for the next 4.5 weeks. You take the test March 21st, basically 4.5 weeks from now. So you're looking at 20 15-minute sessions to practice. I would encourage you, go home today, look at your calendar, especially those of you who work jobs. Okay? And I realize the cream of the crop is in here. Okay? You're busy. I got people that are involved in the musical. Trust me, I know your schedule. Okay? I know it because of Drew and McKenna. All right? I get that. Okay? You got to find 15 minutes, 5 days a week for the next 4.5 weeks to make this happen so that you can do your best. Okay? Some of the practice is going to be time-based. You're going to need a stopwatch. Everybody's got an electronic device, it seems like. So have that stopwatch. When you're practicing, get all the distractions out of the way. I realize I'm a music study person. I get in a room like this, I turn on jams really loud, I lay all my stuff and I study. I enjoy that. Who studies with music? Don't do this. Here's why. Because you're not going to have the music when you take the test. Okay? I mean, you're not. We want to replicate and start to replicate how you're going to take that test. So everything quiet. If that means, go put a muzzle on a little brother or little sister, that's fine. Just don't post any pictures, okay? We'll take that off the video. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, no, we want to create that environment so that when you do get to the test, it's not some strange environment. Because here's why. By timing our practices, we're going to start to develop an internal stopwatch. Okay, those of you that have taken the test, one of the most frustrating things is when the proctor says 5 minutes left, and CJ's like, oh gosh, absolutely. Tell us what happened.
I was on the science one because I really suck at science, and I had like 15 questions left, and she was like 5 minutes. I didn't know what to do.
And I'm gonna teach you how to take the science this time, and you're gonna have 6 minutes left over when you're done with all the questions. I make you that promise. I'm serious. I'm serious. Those people have been with me before. I can do that. Okay? It's about the approach. But we got to practice a certain way. All right? So we're going to practice, and I'm going to give you timings. For instance, the first time you're going to practice a section of reading, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you do these certain things and get a 2.5-minute time limit. Boom. Press your timer, go. Do this, this, this. That leaves you then 5.5 or 6 minutes left to do the questions. Boom. And then you're going to write down your time. You're going to schedule your time. Then the next time you do it, you're going to drop that time a little bit. And so we're going to do that 4 or 5 times, because there are 4 or 5 sections in the reading. And what you've done, you will have gone through an entire test, but you're training your body to have an internal clock as you're going. Does that make sense? Now, do you think after we do this for a month, you'll be better at science? Yeah. I know you will. I know you will. Okay? So, the practice, I cannot reiterate enough. It is as or more important than anything else that I will say. Okay? You've got to set aside that time. And if you can't, please come see me. Maybe I can do something to create an opportunity here on campus or something like that for you a couple days a week. I don't know. All right? Because this test is super important. All right? So, let's do this. Go ahead and stop.